29.1. Video number 29. Saw this with both my grandparents. When we get close to the other side, the veil between realms weaken. This prepares us for what's next. One of our loved ones will come and see us through. My grandfather's brother came through for him. Because he told us he was standing at the end of his bed. He told us that for days. He passed with a smile. My grandmother told us Grandpa was there to take her dancing. They loved to dance. She also passed soon after. Whatever the reason it is, we are not alone when we move on to our next life. Number 29.2. My mother saw my father as the young man that she met in his Air Force uniform. He was in her vision a 21-year-old man. She had also seen her 3 departed sisters when they were in their late 20s. I heard her talking to them in her bedroom. So beautiful, I am so happy she did. Number 29.3. My husband said, "I see Grandpa, I see angels," it was special. Number 29.4. Deathbed visitors happen all the time, at least with my great-grandma, and all my grandparents. Months until days until their death they speak to dead relatives. It's assuring to us the living that there are guides to help them transition to the next level. I dreamt of my great-grandma the day she passed right before I woke up and checked my phone and saw my dad text me that she had passed. Last year, a few weeks before my dog passed away, I also had a dream of him. Same with my grandma who was terminal. I dreamt that we both were on a trip somewhere, like we used to pre-pandemic. I knew she was leaving soon. Number 29.5. My mom's last words were, "Life goes on." My father, on his deathbed, said, "I must go now. Your mother and my brother, who also passed away, is waiting for me in the car." Number 29.6. I had a similar experience with my father a few hours before he died. His eyes were closed and he was having a conversation with someone he knew. My dad said, "Oh, she is there too." His younger sister had died couple of years before and we never told my dad. I asked him who he was talking to. He opened his eyes and told me not to mind. Number 29.7. My father had a 40-minute conversation with his mother. A fascinating Q&A. I was standing outside the room, thinking it was having a conversation with a neighbor, double room occupancy. When I walked in and noticed he was the only one there and asked him who he'd been talking to, and he replied, "Your grandmother stopped by to catch up." I inquired various questions to be sure he's not delirious, and when satisfied I thought I'd ask one last thing. I asked him, "You were a PhD, veteran, and a retired nuclear physicist. How could Grandma talk to you when she's been gone since 1988? His reply, "Well, that certainly didn't stop her from paying me a visit." Number 29.8. My granda saw my deceased boyfriend above the foot of her bed shortly before she died. She said he was holding the door open for her. She also saw her deceased sister. A few weeks before he died, my grandpa saw his deceased son-in-law holding a baby wrapped in a blanket, singing a song about this baby coming to our family. My brother and his wife were expecting at the time. As my grandpa was dying of cancer at home, my dad was in the hospital recovering from bypass surgery. Every day, Grandpa asked and my dad would come home. The day my dad got home, Grandpa wanted to see him, and after they greeted each other, my grandpa waved his hand in a circle in the air, as if to say, "Let's go." And he died. He waited to be sure my dad was healthy. I think so he knew there was a man available to care for his 2 daughters and their children. Please subscribe, like and share with anyone that needs these comforting stories. Search for my related book on Amazon using the title of 4,000 Deathbed Vision Stories. Sincerely, Ken.